Much has been made of President Obama's personal history. The president hails from Chicago, certainly was born in Hawaii, even lived for a brief period of his life in Indonesia. Now a genealogist has turned up an unexpected branch in his family tree. Lisa Sylvester is joining us once again from Washington. What did the search uncover, Lisa?
Well, this is a story that might take a few people by surprise, not because the first African-American president has an ancestor who may have been a slave, but because the link has been made on his white mother's side of the family. President Obama's story is well known. His father from Kenya, his mother from the United States. But Ancestry.com says it has mapped out the Obama family tree going back 11 generations with stunning conclusion. Anastasia Harmon is the company's lead family historian.
So our conclusion is that President Obama, the first African-American president, is the 11th great-grandson of the first documented enslaved African in what would become the United States.
The link is made not from his father's side, but from his mother, Ann Dunham's lineage. She was connected back to a man named John Punch. Records show Punch, who lived in Virginia, had children with a white woman. Those children later became known as the Bunch family. The findings of the 2-year study are now posted on the company's website. So how did the research team figure this out?
As we're going, from President Obama to his mom and grandmother and great-grandmother, you're looking for like birth and marriage and death records, all those kind of records. As we get farther back in time, though, they weren't kept, or they've been destroyed over time. The Civil War, a lot of records were destroyed, fires, floods, and things like that. So we start looking at what we call surviving records, church records, land records. And so when we get really far back into, like, here, John Bunch III, who's born in 1680, from here on out, we're looking at land records.
University of Maryland history professor Ira Berlin says all of this is perfectly plausible because there was a time when white indentured servants and black slaves freely intermingled.
They work together, they sleep together, they play together. Eventually they have children together. The status of those children follow the status of their mother. That is, if your mother is white, then you will be free.
Lineage has become a fascinating side topic of this political season, from Mitt Romney's Mormon roots to the president's ancestry. But what matters, says CNN contributor Roland Martin, is not so much the past, but the future.
This is not going to mean anything when it comes to voters. This is simply a matter of what his personal history is. Keep in mind, you can be Clarence Thomas, and you can have a very clear African-American background going back generations, but do the policies that you articulate today, do they resonate with black voters?
So that first documented slave was named John Punch. And then there was a slight name change with the next generation to John Bunch. And that is where they have been able to connect it all the way to President Obama. And by the way, Ancestry.com is a publicly traded company with ties to the Mormon Church. So do we know that this is all true for sure? No, but all of this is like putting a puzzle together. There may be a few missing pieces here and there, but there's enough there to get the overall picture. And the research was reviewed by a third party. A historian and previous president of the Board for Certification of Genealogists took a look, gave her stamp of approval, saying the research met the highest standards.